Hi, I'm Pixie Lay,
And I'm Erica.
and we are learning music theory for the purpose of hopefully creating an album. We're going to go through this book chapter by chapter and learn music theory. And if you're interested in that journey, then come on and join us. Woo! Okay. So we're going to start by figuring out which chapters we have to do. This week we both read chapters 1 and 2, and now we get to pick which one we're going to present on. So let's see. Oh, I got chapter 1.
Chapter 2. So I don't want to have to go first.
Okay, that means I go first.
Yeah.
All right, so it's just an AP music theory book that Erica actually got from the library. And we'll go through chapter 1. So chapter 1 starts out with music fundamentals. It focuses on wavelength, wave height, and waveform, and then envelope. So wavelength is the distance between one wave and the next. It shows it right here in the book. Maybe I should put I've got to put pictures in. The difference from one wavelength to one wave to the next is the wavelength. And it's also related to pitch. It's measured in hertz. And hertz is by how many vibrations it does per second. So if it's something that's 440 hertz, then it's 440 vibrations per second.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. And amplitude, wave height, is the intensity of the wave rather than its length, so how high up the wave goes. Wave height is dynamic, meaning that it changes. And then waveform is the shape of the sound wave as it moves in distance and frequency.
It's what?
It is the shape and form of the sound wave as it moves in distance and frequency.
What is that?
That's the waveform.
It's the form.
Yes.
No, what is it one more? Say it one more time. I'm gonna get it this time.
The shape and form of the sound wave as it moves in distance and frequency.
The shape and form. Okay. I don't know why that's tripping me up so much.
It's okay.
Waveform?
Yes. The waveform produces qualities of sound called timbre. Timbre.
Timbre.
It is made up of more than one frequency, often involving harmonics or overtones. So we did wavelength, wave height, waveform, and then envelope. The envelope of the sound.
I still don't get form.
You still don't get form?
No, I think I get the other two though.
Okay. So the waveform is just so you know how some waves can be more compressed together?
Oh.
So it's kind of like what it looks like. Does it look like that, or does it look... Yeah.
The shape and form of the
Yes.
sound wave. Oh. Yeah. Hell yeah.
You got it.
Okay, now what the hell is timbre?
Timbre is the qualities of sound that are produced. The shape of the waveform produces qualities of sound, and that's called timbre.
Now the timbre, I just understood the waveform, but now I don't remember. I don't understand timbre. What's the?
Well, I feel like timbre is something that comes in when you have a whole song rather than a wave one, because it's it
right.
has to do with harmonics and overtones. So just the overall quality of the sound when it's all together.
Right, that'll make sense later.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Okay, and then the envelope is the sound. It is composed of the attack, sustain, and release. So the attack is so the sound starts at point A and it reaches its peak at point B. That's the attack. The sustain would be the sound drops slightly at level B and then it stays stable until C. remain steady until C, and then the release is the sound begins to decay at C until there is silence at D. And that's the envelope of the sound. Like, where does it?
Oh, yeah. That's what an envelope.
Yeah, it's the envelope of the sound.
Oh, holy shit.
Yeah, think of all of that. I think of all of these things in an envelope, and they're giving it to me. And when
Right.
I open it up, I get a song, and I get to see where.
Oh, smart. You're smart.
Yeah, you're smart too.
Oh.
Okay, duration is the length of time sound or silence lasts. That's pretty easy.
Wait, okay, yes.
You're cute. You're cute. Okay, now we're going over the staff. I'm gonna have to put pictures in.
Yeah, that's fine. Right.
Yeah.
Make it a little.
A staff is composed of 5 lines and 4 spaces.
To make a PowerPoint.
Mm-hmm.
You can splice it in there.
Yeah. And then each line is named for each line.
Singing.
Yes.
The hash slinging slasher. Yeah.
Oh my
That's
goodness.
me in this music theory book going back and forth. It and me, yes. The hash slinging.
Okay. And whichever the letters of the alphabet depend on which
It's kind of clef.
yeah, which kind of clef you have.
Yeah.
Which will tell you where to start playing. There's this little thing that looks like a 13. It looks like a 13 to me.
I couldn't even describe what it looks like.
A 1 and then a 3.
I mean, I get where you're getting 13 from, yeah. It looks like 2 C's.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It's just a weird little fucked up thing.
Okay, there are some points that they wanted to tell us about some certain clefs. So, the C clef is the one that looks like 13, and it's used for all vocal ranges, but it's moved on the line to show where the middle C is located based on the pitch. And then the G clef, the little swirly actually wraps around the G line, so that's how you know. And that's also called the treble clef.
Oh, it's a G clef
Yeah,
specifically, and the bass clef is an F.
Yeah,
clef?
the bass clef is an F clef, and the lines are around the F line. I mean, the 2 dots are around the F line, so you always know where. Yeah, the F line is. It really helps. And then there's also something called the grand.
It's always been that way.
Yeah.
They just made that.
They just did it last week.
Right? When they decided to do it that way.
They called Beyonce and asked her if it was okay, and she said,
and she was like, "Yeah, that makes sense." Yeah.
And then there's a grand staff which combines both the treble clef and the bass clef, and it's used in piano and in notating voices. And then they teach us about ledger lines, which are essentially like extra lines above the staff. I think they can also be below the staff, above or below the staff, that show where the notes are to help you notate, to help you know where the notes are, what letter they are, what pitch they are. On the piano keyboard, the smallest space or distance between 2 adjacent notes, known as an interval, is called a half step. It's important to note that between E and F, there's a half step. And some other one. I forget the other one. But between E and F, there's a half step. Because there's no black key. There's no black key between them. Maybe B and C, I think, yeah.
What does that mean? Hold on. Run that back.
Just that between each key is a half step. So E and F, even though that's just how they divide them. They just call them a half step. This is a half step between that, and these 2 are a whole step apart. And it's just important to note that these 2, even though usually the white keys are a whole step apart because they've got the black keys in the middle, but this doesn't have a black key in the middle. It's just a half step apart. Yep, and I just went through all of that. And then they went over double sharps, which look like an X, or a double flat, which looks like two little B's. A sharp, it looked like a little X.
I've never met her. Okay, I've seen a double flat.
Looks like two little
What
B's.
does that even mean?
And then you've seen the natural.
I know what a natural, yeah. What are those? What are those? Why do those exist?
So raise you go double this sharp.
Half steps, but is that not just a whole step? Am I on crack? Is that not
is
just
a whole step? But a one sharp means raise it by 1/2 step. So the double sharp means raise it by 2/2 steps. You get it? One regular.
I don't understand
sharp.
why that exists. I don't understand what the relevance of that would be.
I don't know.
I don't understand the practical application.
Yeah, because I would just put the sharp symbol twice because they are where you do that.
Symbols.
But I don't know. I don't know why they do it. That's just what they.
Son of a bitch, I hate music theory.
You hate music theory?
I do. It's like calculus for sounds. Harmonic equivalence. B sharp is but this noise is that noise. But this one's this one.
In harmonic equivalence.
Figure it out.
Same note, just different name for the note.
I would rather be stabbed. No, that's fine. Odysseus, Ulysses, Mr. Adventure Man.
The note head obviously is the little circle part of the note, and the stem is the little line part, and then some of them have the little flag when they're like an 8th note or a 16th note.
32nd note, I guess. I'm gagging. 32nd note. I hate that.
The bar line is the vertical line that divides the staff into measures. The measure is the unit of space between the bar lines. A double bar line, they show the end of a section of music, and a final bar line indicates the end of a piece or composition. And the last thing is if there's an accidentals carry into other octaves in the same measure, but it's a good idea to specify each accidental when you change octaves. I'm so glad I'm not going to be writing sheet music.
That's kind of the point of us writing this.
Is it? So we have to write it?
I mean, read it and understand it.
Read it.
I mean, I feel like at the point we can read it, we'll probably be able to write it. Yeah.
Well, that's the end of chapter 1. On to chapter 2.
Ooh. See, once we learn how to read music, it'll probably be easier to. Oh, rhythm. Yeah. Oh, Anna Croesus. Who is she? Notating rhythm. Music is sound and silence in time. I think that's very important to know. Because I think, right, the rests are also
part of the music.
right? You have to play the silences. What does it say? Throughout the history of Western music, blah, 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 notating rhythm. Oh, this chapter is about how to write down rhythm. Musical notation does not indicate the exact duration of the sound, right? It's just about, the rhythm is just in relation to the piece. Not necessarily absolute, because depending on who plays the piece, they could take liberties with the duration of the notes, but the notes in relation to each other in the song have to be as written. That's what rhythm is. What else is this? The dot and the tie. Oh yeah, the dot is used to extend the value of a single note by 1/2 of its original value. Like the dotted quarter note, which is a quarter note and an 8th note. Or a dotted half note, which is a half note and a quarter note. Sometimes there's also a double one, though, I'm looking at here, which would be for the half note, a half note and a quarter note and an 8th note. So sometimes they do that, I guess. I'm not going to expand on that because I already get it. I can't say much more about that. Sometimes they choose to do that. Metric organization. Rhythm is basic. Rhythm and meter. Very often, I don't know what they're talking about. Oh, the meter. Organization of the meter. Duration is the length of time sound occurs. The beat is a regular recurring pulsation that divides the music into units of time. Meter is the organization of beats.
Feeling the beat.
Meter. Yeah, that's the meter. Right, the meter. What's the meter? Organization of beats into groups of 2, 3, 4. Usually with strong and weak beats. We'll circle back to that and how the beat is subdivided. Subdivision, the division of the beats into 2 or 3 equal parts. Rhythm, series of durations, often varying of sound and silence. Tempo, the speed of the beat. Don't mess up my tempo. Right, the meter. So the meter, there's 3 kinds. Or maybe there's more and they're only showing 3. Anyway, there's the double, and that's 2 beats per measure.
Okay.
Strong, weak. So like boom.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's triple, which is strong, weak, weak. And there's quadruple, which is strong, weak, less strong, weak. So like a boom, boom, yeah, right, yeah, you get it, yeah. Right, that's the meter. That's the different kind of meters that there are. The meter signature at the beginning of a musical score establishes the grouping of the beats and the nature of the subdivision of the beat. Now, I knew the beginning of that sentence, but they lost me in the second half. Subdivision per beat. Right. Oh, how it's subdivided. This is where it gets a little interesting to me. Simple meter and compound meters. Oh, yes. That's the subdivisions. Simple meters. The beat is divided equally into 2 parts. And in compound meters, they're divided into 3 parts. But I remember reading compound meters. It's a little different because usually for the meter signature, the top number is the amount of beats in the measure and the bottom number is the note that gets the beat. But for the compound meter, the note that gets the beat is like the dotted half, or like it's a dotted note, so there's no like numerical equivalent that the beat could be represented by in the time signature, which is why it's like 9/4. So it's the quarter note is not what is getting the beat, but there's 9 quarter notes in each measure.
Okay.
Did that make sense? Right. If you look at the pictures, it definitely helps. All right. And then they've got this little chart about how to be able to tell.
That chart.
Right. I wish I could.
It's very helpful. I wrote it down in my notes.
Did you? I need to write it down. I want to scan it into my brain. The double, triple, quadruple. Right. If the top number is 2 or 6, then you have a double meter. If it's 3 or 9, then you have a triple meter. 4 or 12, you've got a quadruple meter. And then if it's 2, 3, or 4, you've got a simple meter. 2, 3, 4. And it's if it's 6, 9, or 12, then you've got a compound meter, which is hot. Asymmetrical meters. I couldn't
don't
tell
understand
you.
those.
Yes, I don't know
I
what the
don't
fuck
quite
means.
get it.
I don't know what
I
that
think
is.
that is
Right, you do the
Beyonce
math.
level of understanding.
Right. The term means not symmetrical.
Yeah, obviously it's a meter that's not
Unequal
symmetrical and it's not
length.
even.
I'm gonna have to look up some examples.
I don't understand why you would want to do that. I like
I'm gonna circle back
things.
to that. Fuck.
With my Mars in Capricorn, I really like things to be organized.
I respect you. I think circling back to the music theory for dummies that I've been reading, which I really enjoy. Right? Theory is just our attempt to make sense of things that we're already doing. So, right, I'm sure there was already a song that had an asymmetrical right, that slapped.
Like, yeah.
So they're like, fuck, how will we write this down? Right? So I guess that exists now. But you're right, it is the Beyonce. You gotta be a Beyonce to pull off an asymmetrical meter. Right? These motherfuckers ain't stopping. Right. Dead ass. Triplets and duplets. The regular division is always in 2 equal parts. An irregular division occurs when it is divided into an odd number of parts. Okay. This type of division requires a bracket and a number, or simply the number if the notes are beamed. The most common division is the triplet, dividing a regular duration into 3. This can also be explained as borrowing the beat unit from compound meter by, I don't know what the fuck these words are.
Let's watch a video.
Yeah, you turn on a video and I'll keep reading. I'll also drink a little.
A complete course from grades 1 to 5.
Oh yeah, that's what level I am.
3.
See, I don't understand. I know I shouldn't give up when things are hard, but it's getting hard and I think I might give up right now.
Oh god, my brain is full to bursting.
Yes.
So the anacrusis is when the song starts on the weak beat, the one at the end of the measure.
I think the way you're putting it is just I had a good understanding and now I feel confused. Like I understood it.
Yeah, what's confusing about how I'm putting it? It's because that's what it is. It's because that's kind of exactly what it says. The downbeat. Not all music begins on the downbeat. Some songs begin on a beat that precedes the first beat. This is called an anacrusis. Well, I mean, that's fair. It's because I think of songs as cyclical. So I think of, like, how the anacrusis, it has to be accounted for in the final measure of the song. So the way that my brain conceptualizes it, it's kind of like if you loop the song, this is the final beat of the song, you know? But I guess that is kind of a confusing way to look at it. But that's how my brain has to conceptualize
That's
it.
okay.
Strong and weak beats. I don't think I finished the chapter, I'm realizing. But it's okay, I'm gonna learn it right now. Syncopation is the rhythmic displacement of the expected strong beat created by using dots, rests, ties, accent marks, rhythm, and dynamics. I get it. Syncopation also occurs when the emphasis or stress in between the beats stress is in between the beats or on a normally weak beat. Because syncopation emphasizes a beat or a part of a beat other than the one expected and creates a conflict with the established grouping of beats. It is an interruption of the regular flow of rhythm. It can also be the placement of stress, accents, or even longer durations where they would not normally occur. Yeah, syncopation. Okay, hemiola or hemiolia was used in the common practice period as a special type of syncopation in triple meters in which the beat is temporarily regrouped into twos. This is supposed to come with like a person who knows what this book is
why we
about.
need a teacher.
Yeah, right. That's why like learning things is hard. This isn't gonna make sense until I have the concept for it, the context for it to make sense. It's honestly like I should be in a classroom and they would probably play whatever this music is, and then they would point out to me verbally like which part, and then I would hear it, and then the words would make sense with it. But I just gotta look at it. Yeah, it's silent. Rhythmic notation guidelines. Pitches. Oh, I'm not gonna dictate that to a camera, because that's just, if you want to learn music theory that bad, you just gonna have to study it yourself. It's just talking about how like the notes, like whether you should place the stem like upward or downward. Y'all can look at it and y'all can figure that out, because that's what I do. Just look at it. If it look right, it look right. If it don't look right, make it look right. All right, that's it.